Hello and very good morning here from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm now traveling for a vacation, and luckily with me, I have a travel go set. So again, it's Jeffrey here. Welcome to second episode, and apologies for the long hiatus. I've been caught up with a lot of things in my life. Today we're going to talk about the game of Rin Kaiho against Cho Chikun. Well, Cho Chikun in his younger days, of course. Now, Cho Chikun is taking black in this game. It was played in 1980, and this is the 5th Meijin Cup. So what we're gonna see here is a style from Cho Chikun, who is notorious for being very attacking and not giving up, and the Rin Kaiho style of being very stable and also very strong moves played. So without further ado, let's check out this game. So in this second episode, you won't be seeing a game that is as obvious as the clash of ideals that we had in the first episode, but it would be, I think, a very good starting material for those who are just starting up and would like to play variations other than trying to get one direction into the moyo or one direction into the territory. So this game is about more balance, and you'll see how Rin Kaiho emerged as victorious with his absolute, or I would say, better positional judgment. Cho Chikun starts with a top right corner, a star point. Rin Kaiho answers with another star point on the bottom left. And this is where we see the opening starts to have its direction taking place. With this 3-4 point over here, normally if you would attack, you would attack from this direction. So black, knowing this, takes the approach over on this side, trying to push white over to there and build his moyo around here. White responds normally. Black tries to go into the corner. In modern games, you would do the attachment. This is more on the older games. So white, knowing black's intention, you try to destroy it by using a pincer here. And now we see interesting things happen. This is Joseki. But instead, as we all know of Cho Chikun, he plays something different. And we'll see how this turns out to be. White, King Atari, tries to claim this stone over here and gain some position advantage. And black plays quite a surprising move. This is a mini trap. White has to be extra careful. If white tries to push over, black would get this. And if white captures, black would take these two stones, shifting the direction to this side. Now this is not a good action for white in this sense, because black gets the corner and gets to stand to this side while attacking this direction, although white gets to attack this direction as well. But positional wise, black is rather more solid compared to white. So instead, white made an interesting move. Tari over here. Black captures. White returns. Push ahead. Protects the cutting point. Not quite to say protect, but trying to enclose black into the corner. Now this is the direction that we should take in the opening. Not trying to be cornered or trying to be close into one side and not able to influence the later part of the game. Now black, white, and black, preventing white from a complete enclosure over this side. Unfortunately, Cho Chikun's play did not result in Rin Kaiho getting a bad position over here. Instead, it was better for white. So now it's white sensei taking big points. Black, big points as well. But this is less lucrative compared to here because white has a stones forming a strong wall and can work together over with the top left shimari. This side is less likely because here is white stones, and we'll see later on in the part how this area is actually not quite protected, like thanks to this white wall over here. So the value is relatively less if you compare with this one. White plays slow move here actually. AI did not recommend this protection, but seems it's necessary for white at that moment. Rin Kaiho thought so. And black, knowing that he's at disadvantage on this corner, immediately makes a very big point play over here. White still being extra cautious. And white, sensing that black is trying to make moyo on this side, infiltrates immediately. And now we see why white placed this stone over here earlier to prevent this kind of distraction. Yep. Black is trying to expand its influence and reducing what white will gain over here. White still being extra cautious now, protects the cutting point, which looks like this. Now, this stone is here to prevent this cutting point. So there's a ladder capture or ladder to the top. Either side works. Now it's black's turn. So black, again, aggressively trying to expand his corner by attaching here. When two stones attach, they get stronger. Now white protects the top side. Black taking the corner. And now we see that white has a superior wall over here with the collaboration of the top left corner. A little bit of treachery over here. But black has not just one corner, but two corners, and potentially a third corner. If black ever claims the third corner, it's game over for white. So white immediately makes the invasion. And here we see how and why that Rin Kaiho managed to win this game with his strong positional judgment. So he understands the important points at different parts of the game and immediately responds to it, and also having some preparations all over the board. Is he going to capture on the outside? Not quite. There's a ladder advantage for white, thanks to this protection earlier. So black has to play it this way because the ladder does not work. And now white managed to find some time to lurk into the corner. Atari. And lives in the corner, nullifying black's advantage of two corners here. Now black, of course, trying to attack. White getting more space to get understand it. Black protects. And white comes out, expanding the left side moyo. Black attacks again. And here we see that how Rin Kaiho interestingly tries to protect this side by using an unusual move. Well, most likely we would thought of this kind of move, but it's a bit too passive. So with a escape route to the center over here and some helping stones on the left side, Rin Kaiho decided to play something that is more aggressive. This stone would have in later parts of the game, this stone will be able to do some yosei advantages, taking up black's points over here. You will be able to play this stone if you have very strong foundation and understanding of how the hangmouth stones works. So this is something we can learn. So black jumps out, and now the escape route is not so clear anymore. So white plays an extra move to protect. And now this side of the board is stable. So we will take a short break here, spend a little time, analyze the board, and let me know which side you feel has the advantage. And we'll see upcoming next how the white stone actually is able to invade into this moyo and the tipping point of black losing the game. Right. So with my judgment, white has a fairly good position with a good moyo here, all the way with a wall that will later nullify the advantage on the center. Taking the corner, taking a small side. As for black, 2 corners, 1 small side, and with a potential of losing out in yosei. So the game is still quite even at this point. And remember that the Komi is 5.5, so less pressure for black. Hence, he played this move. Now it's white's time to make his destructions plays. See, it's harmonically connected right now, with black unable to push through over here. Double tiger's mouth, and this stone perfectly placed in a position that is a 2-space jump over. But AI does not actually recommend running these stones out. Instead, in AI's analysis, it actually recommends to immediately trying to invade the top side by trying to push through on this side and on this side. So reducing the moyo, and then it will work out something else over here. Not right now. It's not the right moment to do so. But the drop in the winning percentage is not much, still bearable. Black protects, and now the cutting point becomes a threat. White has to protect over here. Now black can turn back and protect this place. White, black, and now white start his counterattack. And now we see the pivotal moment of the game after white plays here. As we can see, white has already prepared for the game of yosei as early as this move. And now with this move, white is obviously understands that the game will drag on long because there's no obvious advantage, and white wants to push through to the end game. However, from black's perspective, maybe he thought he's a bit behind and he wanted to get a bigger win to maybe show some I'm not sure what Cho Chikun is thinking, but things could happen when the ego comes up. And as we all know, Cho Chikun is a very egoistic Go player. He plays this move, trying to distract white's position over here. And white gives up the fight. This is the tipping point of the game. After this move, white is winning by 15 points. Quite a huge margin, and black is losing out afterwards with no way to come back anymore. So I think that Cho Chikun has misjudged this capture, the impact because white can happily sacrifice the area over here. And now black furiously attacks white's moyo, trying to reduce it. You will see a lot of sente moves now played by black. And white is just defending and trying to protect his position. And now we see that Rin Kaiho isn't just protect, but also knows the moment to counterattack, which is something we can learn when watching pro games. That is, understand the moment and understand the point of taking counterattacks, not to be just passively defending. Here, trying to push through. And now white turns back to defend. But with that counterattack, you see that white gains some advantage in return of what he has lost by defending over here. Now that his head is out, this area is unlikely to get any good points. Cutting point. Protect. And now white plays the Yosei move. It's white's turn to attack black. Well, now we see black is also trying to counterattack instead of defending over here like what we're expecting. But again, perhaps black has been misjudged and he's quite hot-headed right now. So this is actually a point dropping play by black. And with that push, white now creates a table shape and connects perfectly in the center. AI does not fancy this move. It's a fairly small move actually in practice, but well, maybe white thinks that he's already in advantage, so he plays a safe move to protect his position over here. And now black defends. White pushes through. And now we see how earlier when Cho Chikun played this move, it is actually able to defend this side. Remember when black has a stone over here, if black pushes, white harness, with this stone, black cannot play this move. Right, so it's white can Atari and connects back, or white can Atari from the top. This is much better, of course. And if black counters Ataris, black does not have enough time to make white stones having shortage of liberties, so there's no counter Atari and the recapture, right? So this is how white protects this side. Something we can learn, right? So interesting, it's going to happen in a few more moves. Sit back and enjoy. Yep. Now, this is a pivotal moment with white protecting over here, right, connecting the two stones, preventing the double Atari, and with black having cutting points over here with this position, black still intends to attack, and now white has to make a very important decision, that is, do I protect this side and give up the chance that I had in the top right corner, which is technically this Atari, and then capture the white stones. If white wishes to protect, he has to be careful as well, because here it's all traps. With the shortage of liberties being a possibility, white has to choose the right way to protect. So of course, not quite this kind of protection, or trying to claw black in this way. There's this area over here where black can take advantage of. So the correct course of action, and it's also AI suggested move, white plays correctly over here, connecting from the bottom side. And of course, with that, black would take the top stone, because the bottom stone's worth more points, of course. And now white counterattacks. And here, when black plays this move, instead of protecting, white made a very bold decision to capture and make an exchange. So that breaks the white's intention initially to trying to protect this side of the stones, trying to rescue it. It feels weird, yes, but we'll see why white makes this decision, because this is not just a exchange of what I have here and I give up, and what you have here and then I take it away. And it seems unfair at first sight, but we'll see, because black's top right corner has a lot of issues. With this jump, it's exposed that white's top right corner is actually not alive. And not just not alive, white would be able to take another 4 stones over here, which means that this exchange suddenly becomes a fair trade for white. And next, we also see that black has a issue with this Atari. Connect. And Atari again. So black has issues all over the place, suddenly, out of a sudden, right? Because of the bad connections over here that causes this kind of dynamics changes. So black now opts to connect. Now white is fighting on every single detail that he has, or rather that he has calculated, which black did not. Threatening for the life and death of the corner. And white and black plays a mini ko over here. White understands his advantage. This one will threaten to capture all these stones over here by this push and cut. So black is forced to protect. White takes the ko. Black turns to threaten this side of the white instead. And white makes a bold decision, or rather calculated decision, to give up this corner in exchange for the top corner. But this move does not end white's position, so black has to play a bit more, which is why the exchange is more favorable to white than black. Black spends 2 moves over here, and it's not ideal, right? You don't want to kill a group by spending the moves more than your opponent, and you end up being in gote while losing a ko. So now white actually has a advantage of 20 over points already. Now it's all simple yose for white. Because of this exchange, and lastly, I think black, knowing that he's not going to win the game anymore, he might not play with his clarity in his head. So after this exchange, instead of protecting, black did not actually protect, but moved to somewhere over here. And the last tipping point, with white cutting off. It's a very nice Kosumi here, threatening to Atari on this side. Black bends out and just steal a capture. Black protects, and out of a sudden, black loses his group over here as well. So with that, white successfully invades the top right corner, destroys everything, while giving up the top bottom right corner, and also having a bonus of saving his stones, which is supposed to be dead after the exchange for this chain of stones on the top side. So black resigns at this point. I think it's a very great lesson for Cho Chikun, while being very aggressive, but have to be able to take care of the position of the stones and understands that the exchanges, how is it favorable to him. But at that point, he's still young. So later on, Rin Kaiho did mention that he can see the potential of Cho Chikun and understands how strong he has been, because during the game, Rin Kaiho is actually on immense pressure when black tries to attack and piling up the pressure on white. So we see that it's still quite an even game until black misjudges the value of this capture, while white able to jump in and gain a Yose advantage of up to 15 points. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is the second episode. And again, I apologize for the long wait and the haters. Thank you very much for enjoying the first video. And I hope that you guys will enjoy the second as well. So the third video is going to come up soon, and I will be uploading more often. So happy weekends, everyone. Bye-bye. See you in the next video.